while we were in the break, Siddhartha and I, we got a cup of coffee and we're ready to begin our conversation. Tell me a little bit more about the India market then, Siddhartha, because that again is your, like, it's your baby.
Yeah.
And you've announced some very significant ramp up in production. But a question that many would be asking, that you've grown at over 50% in the last 5 years. Clearly, how sustainable is that growth? And is that realistic to expect that sort of growth going forward?
That's a very good question, isn't it? I mean, we all ask ourselves that. And honestly, if you'd asked me this question even 3 years ago, and we'd grown for 2 years at 50% every year, and I would have said, I don't think it's going to grow that fast. And frankly, the answer is who knows, right? And the point is that we don't spend our time worrying about that issue. We spend our time figuring out how to continue to keep the market growing for us. So on the one hand, because we have such a excellent franchise now, Royal Enfield franchise, the distribution spread is happening really well. So for some of the Indo-Japanese companies, for example, what happened in the 90s, right? They grew through distribution spread. The product was the same, but they grew through distribution. That's what's happening with us right now. But a dealer in a marginal town, which wasn't able to take a Royal Enfield dealership, so a small town, for example, a C or D town, he's looking around and he's saying, look, with us, because we don't discount, there's good margin, there's good aftermarket revenue. So he's figuring out that actually it's a good franchise. So through franchise, we're growing really rapidly. We've got a lot of new products in the pipeline, which hopefully will help us in keeping that momentum up. We've got a lot of things going on. I mean, on the brand side, you can see what we're
absolutely.
up to. So the answer to that question is, honestly, we don't know, but we're not waiting to find out. We're going to keep moving the market forward as much as we can, and of course, at some point, we're going to stop growing at 50%. But I don't know when that is.
Right. Tell us a little bit about the two platforms, because clearly that is going to be that big sort of move from Royal Enfield. You know, but again in the medium sort of segment between 250 and 750. So tell us a little more about it. When do we see the first launch happening? What do we expect? What are your own expectations from that? Because clearly there is a lot of interest, as you would have already noticed.
Yeah, so the internet obviously knows more than we do right now in what's going on. And but yeah, it's of course, you know, the idea is that we don't stand still, we keep moving forward, and as we did with our current range of motorcycles, we develop and create new markets. Sometimes it sticks, sometimes it doesn't, that's fine, that's part of life. But the basic idea, of course, is to grow the middleweight market. But the more important part of that is that we develop platforms. So the two new platforms that we've talked about are both going to be absolutely global platforms. What I mean is that they're going to be extremely, in our opinion, of course, and the way we are putting them forward is that they're going to be extremely relevant in India. So we are going to still get our scale from India. If you think about it, that's where, like I said, that's our bastion, that's where we have the distribution, the brand recall is best in India. So both the new platforms, we believe, will have an extremely high relevance in India. And on top of the scale of India, we'll be able to then take them to other markets. So these are, again, simple, non-extreme. We're not going to see some super fast or super heavy or super big or super expensive. It's not like that.
It's okay.
But it's fun, it's simple, it's middleweight, mid-cc, between 250 and 750, somewhere there.
Call it mid-cc.
That's where we're heading to. And but it's let's say, I wouldn't say flanking, but it's around. It's not obviously this, because then there's no point in doing it again, or you know, the unit engine. It's the next generation in some sense, you know. We're taking it all forward.
So give us a sense, when do we expect the first of the?
We've already said in the you know, the first of the lot will come out early next year.
Early next year. So around the Auto
2016,
Expo?
I don't know around, but in the order.
So at least in the first
half of next year,
calendar year.
First half of next calendar year.
Or first half, that means
certainly
can be anywhere from the January to June.
It can be, and you'll get your invite very soon, so you'll figure it out when it is. And the next one will be similarly in the first half of, or in, let's say, in 2017 for sure. Hopefully we'll try and get it out in the first half.
Right. And this
and
would
the next
be,
platform, I'm saying. Yeah.
And this would be exported to all your markets then, wherever you're present.
Again, over time, not all markets immediately. I mean, you know, we develop the India motorcycle first, for example, in the case, and then we sort of expand. So there's many different thoughts, but yes, the platform is a global, both the platforms are global platforms.
You've also decided Royal Enfield will not be participating in the Auto Expo.
Right.
What's the thinking, Sid? Does Royal Enfield want to differentiate itself from rest of the auto companies?
Well, that's not the reason. I mean, we do want to differentiate ourselves in many ways from auto companies, but that's not the reason for us not to be in the auto expo. That's a, I would say, more commercial decision in the sense that what do we want to get out of it? It's an expensive show to be in. It costs a lot of money, and we felt we could do better with that money this year. So, you know, we have other ideas of how to spend it.
But that's also part of your thing, right? Because you see yourself, I understand, more as a lifestyle company, perhaps, rather than really like a brick and mortar two-wheeler company.
Yeah, you can see that here. I mean,
yeah, precisely why I'm
taking,
asking.
The
exactly.
place you're at. I mean, look at our publications that we talk about. I mean, all of it is. We believe that's where we can take motorcycling to. We believe that, you know, we believe that traditionally automobile companies, motorcycle companies, they're all so staid. I mean, everyone is just, you know, their only mission
Do you
is
have any friends left in the two-wheeler? I know Rajiv and we are good friends.
Everyone is just thinking about, you know, very, you know,
linear. And very...
You sell one more motorcycle and everyone says we have customer relationship, but no one really does. Once you sell a car or motorcycle, you're done. Your profit has been made by that company, so you're out. We're also a bit like that, so we're not, but we want to move to a company which
right, gives more.
Yeah, it's more about the experience, and we want to put all our effort, energy, our marketing dollars, as it's called, or rupees, behind experience. We want to make sure, and that's been our strength so far. We want to make sure that once you buy a Royal Enfield motorcycle, you have a hell of a time. You have the best time. You have, and not just our stuff. So we have, of course, our stuff here, but you have customizers who are third parties. We don't benefit from them directly, but so that you can personalize your motorcycle. You have other people who are making accessories for you. You have infrastructure of rentals and tour operators. So once you have that entire ecosystem of interesting things going around, and you have programming. We want to do a lot of programming, events, activities, all of that. Once you do that, that creates, you know, a genuine interest of people in the brand, rather than what the current status quo is.
Your market share in the 150cc plus segment in India is well above 20%. And now, you know, how do you see rivalry with Bajaj? Number one. Number two, we'll have TVS BMW Alliance kicking in very shortly. We don't know the sort of products that they will be introducing. But clearly, I mean, do you see, you know, any competition? Because even though they may be different segments, but surely there will be spillover effects.
Surely. So, you know, we study competition a lot. We make sure we always take a very different direction, but we've ridden every motorcycle, we understand the business model, we understand what they're trying to do. So it's not that we've got blinders on and we're just doing our little thing on here. But we also are very sure that we're not everything for everybody, right? Right. So in fact, the way we train our salespeople in a store like this is, if someone's coming in for a, you know, what's it called, a really quick motorcycle. So there's this young chap who wants a really fast motorcycle, and he says, here's a Continental GT, it's the best bang for the buck, I want to buy this. And the guy will be like, hold on, it's a classic, beautiful, it rides in this manner, why don't you ride it? If you like the ride, great. But if you want the best bang for your buck, there's another showroom around the corner, please go there. And rivalry with Harley Davidson, or it's not? Or is it overrated and misunderstood? Because clearly they are like a, you know, they are in a different segment, but now, you know, they are also sort of scaling down. So, you know, our personalities are, I mean, or let's say Royal Enfield's personality is different. We don't really think of people as rivals and, you know, that whole thing about competition and all. We're gentle folk, you know, we just sort of, we're gentle folk. We don't, you know, we like everybody. Smiling assassons? Yeah, that's well, okay, if you like to put it that way. But we like all sorts of motorcycles. I ride everything, you know, it's not like I'm saying, oh my God, I can't touch that other motorcycle. It's fine. I mean, we enjoy the sport of motorcycling, the leisure of motorcycling. That's what we enjoy doing. And we recognize that there are different sorts of motorcycling, and people like extreme off-roading. I think it's great fun. I've been off-roading and it's brilliant fun. That's not our motorcycle, the extreme off-roading. We'll go on another one for that. Thank you so much, Siddhartha, for your time. Always a pleasure to talk to you. Great to see you again. Thank you. Bye-bye. That was Siddhartha Lal in conversation with me. Hope you liked watching it as much as I liked interviewing him. Until next time, goodbye.